Now, you know when you hear that 1 in 10 people are gay or some other sex-related statistic that seems extraordinary and you're incredulous? Well, actually there's a reason to be. Because maybe most of this information comes from something called the Kinseyan report, an iconic study of sexual behavior. But Dr. Judith Reisman, an expert in the field, says this is severely misplaced. She joins me now from Washington, D.C. Welcome to you, Doctor.
Thank you. It's a delight to be back here with you again, Michael.
Thank you. Now, tell us about the Kinseyan report, because there was a movie about Kinsey with Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson only plays really great guys, so it had to all be true, surely.
Yes, of course. He's the hero of heroes. I know Schindler's List and all that. Yeah, it's very tragic that he played this man. Yeah, Dr. Alfred Kinsey was indeed a homosexist. That is, he believed in the superiority of homosexuality or bisexuality, however you want to put it. He was a sadomasochistic psychopath, and this is all documented. No surprise, of course, a pornography addict, naturally. So no surprise, indeed, that he concocted a body of research he called research, which claimed that 10 to 37% of the population was homosexual, that sexual acts with children are perfectly harmless, that all infants can have orgasms and that sort of thing, and created what we now call the sexual revolution or sexual anarchy. Remember, this was 1948, so it was just barely out of World War II, so there simply wasn't the kind of opposition to these lies that would have been expected at all. And they became the dogma for all human sexuality education, and we now see it in all our laws across every aspect of the Western world, or Judeo-Christian or English-speaking world.
Entire government policies in the Western world in particular have been created
indeed.
Around this.
Absolutely. You were just speaking a few moments ago about I just caught the end of it, but certainly I've been following the UNESCO policies and Planned Parenthood, International Planned Parenthood Federation, and that sort of thing, and our recent injections, not inoculations of little children for Hep B was before, but HPV now. All of this comes back to the notion that we are all sexual from birth, and Kinsey created that notion, and now we have the pedophile information exchange moving into what's called the minor attracted children, minor attracted persons efforts to destigmatize all pedophilia.
But I want to make this point quite clear, though. I work with a number of people who are gay, know many people who are gay, that they will be appalled by any victimization of children. They have no agenda, they simply want to be respected, and they deserve respect. There's a difference between being gay and having a radical sexual agenda, isn't there?
Well, of course there's a difference. The big problem is that we're not finding the homosexual movement speaking out on this. And I keep waiting for a march like the Gay Rights March. I keep waiting for a march of homosexuals who challenge the pedophile movement, which is absolutely encroaching and moving in on every aspect of homosexual demands, if you will, in the classrooms and so forth. No, this is a real problem, and it's a problem that should be addressed by the homosexual movement, and it's not being addressed at this point at all. What we're looking at is a massive takeover by the pedophile world, that is dominated even by people who've been advising the Catholic Church. Dr. Fred Berlin, who was advisor to the Catholic Church on pedophilia, just was the keynote speaker at the conference I attended on minor attracted persons, the effort to destigmatize all aspects of pedophilia and make it a legitimate, sexual orientation, indeed, is what was defined at that conference.
No, but this man is still advising the Roman Catholic Church?
As far as I know, he is. I have read nothing that suggests that he's been removed, and certainly nothing suggesting that he was removed because of his promotion of these policies from the very beginning in his clinic at Johns Hopkins, which was founded by Dr. John Money, who advocates for an end of age of consent, advocated for an end of age of consent from the university at Johns Hopkins, and advocated for even kind of what you'd call the rough sex defense. if a boy and a man actually, you know, one of them died as a result of what he called a sadomasochistic ritual. This is insane. This whole thing is insane. And these were the big advisors, yes, to the Catholic Church for many years. And money is dead, but as far as I know, Dr. Berlin still advises.
This is staggering because, again, most people, Canada, the United States, that reasonable, decent, kind people, they simply want to coexist. They may have certain issues with people of a different sexuality, but live and let live. But this is radically different. Let's talk about Kinsey a little more, because, again, it's not that people quote Kinsey very often, but he's thought to be this great iconic father figure of sexual liberation. You're saying that children were raped in his clinic and he was fully aware of it?
Oh, absolutely, yes. This is the most amazing violation of scientific, well, it's worse than Guatemala. We have a 2-month-old baby identified in Kinsey's own book. I've written several books about this. It's not as though the scientific community is uninformed. It is, however, that they are protecting their turf. They've been quoting him for so long. A 2-month-old baby being tested, quote-unquote, for orgasm. A 4-year-old boy having allegedly 26 orgasms in 24 hours. I mean, that's an around-the-clock experiment. Stopwatches used to record these things. Working with a Nazi pedophile in Germany. I mean, this is outrageous. And I have been unable to break through the control of the scientific world, which shocked me, I must say, in the beginning, because there's so much connected. There is so much money associated and so many prestigious names associated with Kinsey, so much so that we got Liam Neeson playing him in a major Fox, you know, film to celebrate him, as though we were all idiots during World War II and didn't know anything about sex until Kinsey came along.
Well,
Ludicrous.
That actually is an interesting point, because there's always this assumption from people, tends to be people who have fairly large families generally, that they know nothing. They know nothing about sex and they're frightened of it. And these very severe, sort of narrow people with no children or 1.2 children who want to take over. And increasingly in this country, and we see this open wound now within Ontario, the state, parents aren't doing their job, no one procreates, so the state will come in and tell you how to do it properly.
Yes, and who is the state comprised of? I always wondered about that. It seemed to me that the state was comprised really of women and men, weren't they? So who are they to tell the parents how to do whatever it is they're supposed to be doing properly? No, the state is encroaching everywhere. The children are being taken from their parents. The ludicrousness of the claim that we don't know anything about sex, you know, I mean, good heavens, anybody, you know, stops for just half a second, reads, Shakespeare didn't know anything about sex? Somebody should read his definition of lust in his Sonnet 29. It's outstanding. No, we've all fallen into a state of incredible ignorance, and our children are paying that price. Look, Kinsey claimed that he interviewed 4,441 women, and he did not even find one incident of a real rape. Now, come on, this man was a total psychopath, and the people he created around him were psychopaths, and in fact, there was no field of human sexuality pre-Kinsey. There simply wasn't, although we knew how to have babies. And subsequently, the entire field of human sexuality stands on this man's fraud, and the people that have built their lives, their reputations, their scholarly credentials on that fraud.
We have to.
There's no question.
I have to stop you there because we're running out of time. We're going to lose the satellite, frankly. But I'd love to get you back on the show. You'll come back?
Absolutely. And you're going to hear from Lila Rose soon, who has done outstanding work in this area.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.